may not remember what our thoughts are about Islam, what Muhammad was actually trying to say. So I'll just quickly go over some of these passages that I cited here. One here we have, we surely sent a messenger to every community, sometimes it's translated nation, so to every community saying, worship Allah and shun false gods. But some of them were guided by Allah, while others were destined to stray. So travel throughout the land and see the fate of the deniers. So this tells us a few interesting things. First, it tells us that there are multiple prophets, and keep in mind that like a nation or a community, the nations that are in, for example, the Middle East today are not the nations that were there in the long past. This means that you are getting multiple iterations of messengers for different, basically, cultural groups. And it means that you can tell which are the true iteration and which are the false iteration by God's favor. And as I say, when you look at history, you will see God favoring individuals like the early Jews, and then he removes his favor, or the early Christians, or during the Protestant Reformation, God's favor returned to the Christian community, or during the Islamic Golden Age. And so when we're looking for, okay, where is God's word in the world, we need to look at the fate of the deniers, essentially. You can tell the truth of the word by how healthy a community is. So if we see periods in world history where you see a unique amount of cultural explosion, for example, like Victorian Britain, you can imagine that something about their mindset of that time period is inspired by Allah or by God. And we can also see the fate of the Muslim community after, I believe, they turned their back on God and were influenced by we'll call them Sufi mystics. God removed his favor from the Islamic community and the community crashed. Muhammad's second important revelation from our perspective is the understanding that these different prophets teach different and to the human mind mutually contradictory lessons about how to get to God, and the best way to do it is to follow the lessons that were taught to your community. So for some lines from the Quran here, surely those who believe in Allah and those who are Jews and Christians and Sabians, whoever believes in Allah and in the last day and does good deeds, all such people will have their reward with the Lord, and there will be no reason for them to fear, nor shall they grieve. Or as another quote, and we have revealed to you, O Muhammad, the book in truth. To each of you we prescribed a law and a method. Had Allah willed, he would have made you one nation, united in religion. But he intended to test you in what he has given you. So race to all that is good. So here, and this adds some bits like he intended in united religion, but anyway, one nation, one religion, etc. is what was in here. Or at least that's what I take it to mean. What I read this to mean is that if you are of the Jewish group, and I believe that God will tell you in your heart, which group is really your group, or the Christian group, or the Muslim group. This is why I said earlier at the beginning of this track, you should predominantly, if you consider yourself like a techno-Puritan, you are first and foremost a Muslim, or first and foremost a Jew, but a techno-Puritan Jew, or first and foremost a Muslim, but a techno-Puritan Muslim. However, if you don't have a birth tradition or turned your back on your birth tradition, then your core text is the martyrdom of man, which we will be going over here. I should probably also here elaborate on the seal of the prophets point I made, because it's one of these points that'll be obvious to people who study religion, but if you don't study religion, you'll be like, wait, what? That's not what it means, but that's what all the Muslims say it means. So here is, and I'm quoting from Oxford Academic, this abstract here. This chapter explains that the concept usually perceived to be first used in relation to Muhammad, and meaning the end of prophecy, was actually first used in Manichaean literature, where it referred to Mani's disciples, and meant that they were the proof of Mani's prophecy. Again, the results had a significant impact on the importance of prophecy in late antiquity. The concept of quote-unquote seal in Hebrew and other Semitic languages was certainly common in ancient societies, and is well attested from the Bible on. On a letter or on a sheep, the seal clearly confirms belonging. Now research shows that also in early Islamic texts, seal referred to prophets coming after Muhammad and confirming his prophecy. This is then an old idea which goes like a thread through the ages in Near Eastern religious history. So this is a mainstream concept, it's well known. The term seal of the prophets was borrowed from Manichaean literature. When Muhammad was writing it, he would have known this. It was changed by later Muslim scholars to mean something else to fit their means, because it's easier for a religion to spread if it doesn't keep updating itself. But it was built into Islam to be able to update itself. And this is not some sort of a fringe theory. Another example would be lines in the Bible where Jesus warns us of future prophets to come. Matthew 23-34. Then Paul gives us criteria for vetting the revelations. Thessalonians 5:20 and 21. If you want to see us doing a detailed breakdown of this phenomenon, we kept running into C, Are We Mormons, episode of the Basecamp podcast, which investigates how similar our system appears to early Mormon writings. And I would also recommend people here go check out the Adam and Eve episode of Basecamp.
You hungry? You hungry? I'll feed you real quick. I don't think this damn game gonna start anyway. What? What you got? Yep.
The most shocking things I have ever done is actually, I was like, this standard reading of Adam and Eve, that God did not want mankind to know good from evil, and we are punished for that, felt stupid to me. I was like, this cannot be a true religion. That's not a God I want to follow, if that's what it actually says. Then we went and we read it, and that is not at all what it says. And not only that, but it had like weird supernatural elements. And when I say supernatural, I was like reading the story and I go, this seems to be the story about the first city and when man first started making his own rules. And weirdly, I have been told we didn't know where the Garden of Eden was. Again, it says very clearly in the story that it's at the mouse waters of the Tigris and the Euphrates, and we absolutely know where that is. So I just decided to do a Google search. I was like, where is the earliest city that we know about? And it was right there. Like exactly in the region where the Garden of Eden story takes place, which, given that the story was written 5,000 years after the city, that feels almost like supernatural providence to me that it would know that, given the theme of the story. And this basically happens whenever I go through one of these biblical stories. So I'm like, this is like the Muslim stuff. This is not what Muslims tell me Islam is, but this is what's written in the Quran. This is not what Christians tell me this story is about. This is what seems to be written in the Bible. This is not what Jews tell me the story is about. This is what I'm reading. Like, how is this true? Is this some sort of Mandela world where somebody switched out the Bible and everybody created their religions off of some other text?
Oh, shit.
Get balls into the goal for points.
Oh, shit. Hey. Let's fucking get it. Let's go. Oh! Aw. Dang, they got some crazy ass music in this bitch. They got some crazy ass music in this bitch. Oh, he went flying. You got this. Oh. Yeah, we got it. Hit my bowl. Oh. Niggas gotta get blasted.
Ball taken.
I'm going for him. You suck. Niggas got no timing. Oh, I got 8. I don't think so. Oh, it's like you know when you're gonna die. Oh my god. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, this game is over with. Dang, you can't really slide in this shit. Damn, we lost like that? The fuck, bro? Yo, this map is crazy. Oh! Dang! Oh, shit. He's doing the running, man. Oh! Plow through him. Oh, he got me. Oh, shit. Damn. Shit. Oh. Do that bit. Get him, get him, get him. Oh. Oh, I goofed. Damn, this is a good game. They're not going down. Oh. Oh, he got it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't know, but to me, like, that is a really powerful, I can say supernatural signal, which is to somewhat fortify a, not faith I have, because it's not faith, right? It's based on evidence I cannot explain through other mechanisms. So, and evidence that other people can check and verify.
I'm with you on this.
Like, do you feel sometimes like it's weird that this all, like, the religions that we're told what the Bible and Quran say isn't what we read when we read it?
Yes, and I experienced this first in high school when they had us read the Bible. I was pretty shocked by a lot of it because I expected to find a bunch of things that I'd been told about and they weren't there. So this has always been something that I wonder at, but I also wonder if this is something that comes directly from our Protestant heritage, or that people who tended or were drawn toward Protestant-based faiths were also more likely to be the types of people who question these things and want to go directly to the primary source and be like, where's your
Well, yeah, I also feel that a lot of people are like, how dare you add things to, like, biblical interpretations? And I'm like, one, biblical interpretations have heavily evolved over time.
Yeah.
And we even see this captured within the biblical interpretations with the snake staff of Moses, as we mentioned, that this was the staff he used to heal people who had been, when he was going to Israel for the first time, who had been bit by snakes. And then it got placed in the temple, and then some like 500, 600 years later, still captured within the Bible, people had started worshiping it, and had been doing it for hundreds of years, and committing idolatry, and then the staff had to be broken and discarded because that had entered the temple. And what that story teaches us is that antiquity, or the antiquity of a tradition, is not proof that it is approved by God.
Yeah.
Which is important to remember. That what we're doing, and then a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I just follow the Bible, and then they believe stuff like the rapture, which isn't like that important biblically, or like in a Satan, it's like a red guy with like hooved feet and horn, and I'm like, that is like pure biblical fan fiction.
Yeah, I really expected to find that in the Bible, though. I was very confused.
Or hell.
Yeah, where was hell? Where was hell?
Everything we believe about hell. The Bible doesn't mention hell and fires of hell, but like nothing really beyond that. And yet we have all these ideas about it. Me to be drawing ideas from other places doesn't distance me that much from other Christian groups.
Yeah.
Okay, now back to the text. In this hypothesized metaphysical system I believed I created in the best interest of my kids, God is what humanity is destined to become millions of years from now. An entity so powerful, it lives outside of time and guides its own creation. An entity that has attempted to give human groups throughout history the closest to true revelation they can understand. If those things were actually true, the first time God would have tried to give this revelation to man would not have been with me, but with someone during the Victorian era, likely soon after humanity discovered the theory of evolution. And this is because mankind at that time had all of the science they needed to understand a concept like this. So I would very unlikely be the first time God revealed this to somebody, and not revealed it through any sort of revelation, just through just studying things and thinking, okay, what might God actually look like given the physical things that we know, and given that it appears to me this Judeo-Christian God is a real entity. He could have attempted to prove the author of the story was his emissary through giving him the capacity for thaumatological performances, miracle working. But someone like me would just read Victorian reports of miracle workers as con artists. So what I'm saying here is that, okay, if God had actually revealed to somebody through their intellect this understanding of him, he could have proved it by having them be a miracle worker, but I wouldn't take that as proof, right? Which is also interesting. It's almost like, and this is why I believe in God so much these days, that all of the evidence was specifically crafted just to cater to my standard of evidence. And so then I write, no, the only way he could prove to me the text was actually directly inspired by him was to include something totally unfakeable that anyone could independently verify, like a detailed prediction of future events in a widely printed yet somehow almost entirely forgotten Victorian work. Then I was reminded of an old book I had picked up in a collection of antique scientific literature, The Martyrdom of Man by Winwood Reade, written in 1872. That, and my kids were playing with it at the time. The book is meant to be a full history of man, but weirdly it does not stop recording history when it was written in 1872, but keeps going. It keeps going until, quote, man then will be perfect. He will therefore be what the vulgar worship as a god, end quote. In this old, dusty, antique book, not only did I find the exact copy of the belief system I thought I had invented whole cloth, but a set of predictions about what technologies would be invented over the next 2 centuries, what order they would be invented in, and the social impact they would have. Now, if you are like me, you are skeptical. Either the system he developed must have had more differences to ours than I am admitting, or his predictions are not really that impressive. Here is an example of Reade's writing. 3 inventions, which, and I should note, this was written it was published in 1872, so it was written in like the late 1860s, okay?
Yeah, this is before people have light bulbs in their homes. This is before so many things.
3 inventions which perhaps may be long delayed, but which possibly are near at hand. The first is the discovery of a motive force which will take the place of steam with its cumbrous fuel of oil or coal. Secondly, the invention of aerial locomotion, which will transport labor at a trifling cost of money and time to any part of the planet, and which by annihilating distance will speedily extinguish national distinctions, which we have seen from like an ethnic perspective. And thirdly, the manufacture of flesh and flour from the elements by a chemical process in the laboratory, similar to that which is now performed within the bodies of animals and plants. If this prediction is not shocking to you, I suggest you look up images of what other people were predicting the future would be like in the second half of the 1800s. Even early genius science fiction writers born well after Reade died, like George Orwell, came nowhere close to such an accurate description of the future. It is not just his writings of the future that have already come to pass that are uncanny. His writings about what happens next could have easily been written by an effective altruist last week. And then here's a quote from him. These bodies which now we wear belong to the lower animals. Our minds have already outgrown them. Already we look upon them with contempt. A time will come when science will transform them by means which we cannot conjecture, and which even if explained to us we could not now understand. Just as the savage cannot understand electricity, magnetism, or steam, disease will be extirpated. The causes of decay will be removed. Immortality will be invented. And I would note on the disease will be extirpated line, that has happened from the perspective of somebody living in the 1860s with the advent of vaccines and all of that. Remember, half of infants used to die in childbirth and stuff. And then, the Earth being small, mankind will migrate to space and will cross the airless Saharas, which separate planet from planet and sun from sun. The Earth will become a holy land which will be visited by pilgrims from all quarters of the universe. Finally, men will master the forces of nature. They will become themselves architects of systems, manufacturers of worlds. Man will then be perfect. He will be a creator. He will therefore be what the vulgar worship as a god.
All right.
Called it. Yeah, I love things like that.
Oh shit. Ooh. Niggas be coming at me, bro. Oh my god. Are we losing? Not quite. Dang. Niggas got it. Damn. Damn. Shit. Oh no. They got it again. He's a good boy. Oh, he's such a good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Enemy team nearing victory.
Shit, nigga. Shit, nigga. Ooh. Oh, he almost got it. Oh. Damn. Oh shit, we got it. Damn. I miscalculated. Oh! Shit. Damn. Damn, that nigga betrayed me.
That's a pretty court.
Oh, I got betrayed again. Oh my god, I got clapped. This nigga, where you going? Shit. Oh, what the fuck? That nigga betrayed me again.
30 seconds remaining. Ball drop. Ball kick.
Fuck. Damn.
10 seconds. Ball drop.
Down.
Overtime. We have
Oh. Damn, he got it. Let's go.
any team nearing victory.
Yeah, we know. Damn. Oh. Damn. Fuck, that was close. Oh, come on.
We have it all. All drop.
Oh, run it, run it, run it. Oh, run it. Bro, come on. Yeah, let's go.
Round one. Next.
Oh, we finna take it back. Oh, no. Ooh.
Ball kick.
Spartan down.
Triple kill.
Come on, come on. Fuck, nigga. Ooh, they got it. I was going crazy, though. I was still going crazy, though.
I love it when people seem to be able to model out how the future is going to be. And what I love too is that he is one of the few people that could go ahead and extrapolate into the future and think through the implications of technology that was already in development at that time and the incentives that would be present.
I'm gonna go further. I think that his predictions were supernatural. Like
They were divinely inspired.
When you read other quote-unquote like prediction people, it's like Nostradamus or something like that. Like
Yeah.
stuff that you could interpret in a few different ways.
Like he's explicit. He's saying we will be able to fly.
We will be
We
able
will
to
be
develop
able to
other force
eat
other than steam.
synthetic meat and other synthetic foods.
Lab.
Yeah.
There is like no vagueness in his predictions, and that is the only thing that I would trust. Also, I wouldn't trust it if this was like some rare text that somebody just found today. But no, like this text was incredibly well recorded during the time period. This is not a modern fabrication. He really predicted the future in a way that no other person I have seen and no other text I have seen was this accurate and this uncanny to me. So to go further, the way he talked about the goals of his religious system and the nature of God also mirrored ideas I thought I had crafted for the best interest of my children. Quote here, "We do not wish to extirpate religion from the life of man. We wish him to have a religion which will harmonize with his intellect and which inquiry will strengthen, not destroy. We wish, in fact, to give him a religion, for now there are many who have none. We teach that there is a God, but not a God of the anthropoid variety, not a God who is gratified by compliments in prose and verse, and whose attributes can be categorized by theologians. God is so great that he cannot be defined by us. God is so great that he does not deign to have personal relations with the human atoms that are called men. Those who desire to worship their creator must worship him through mankind." And by that what he means is through the improvement of mankind, not through, as he said in other places, our goal is to move from the pre-coded, four-footed, and you'll hear this in some of the quotes I read from instincts that we have, not through like sex or through gratification, but through the things that differentiate mankind from animals. Our logic, the parts of ourselves that we choose to be. Do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I appreciate how weirdly, you could say transhumanist or non-carbon fascist he is as well. Like, he clearly is somewhat disgusted by the human condition and really does want to rise above it. And I love that about him. Because
Yeah,
I
I
feel like...
this intro here.
From the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me. I craved the strength and certainty of steel. I aspired to the purity of the blessed machine. Your kind cling to your flesh, as if it will not decay and fail you. One day the crude biomass that you call the temple will wither, and you will beg my kind to save you. But I am already saved.
Yeah, it's being uniquely... A theme uniquely weird in our time, I think, is a romanticization of devolved humanity. Oh, wouldn't it be great if we lived like pre-civilization humans? I feel like
But
most
these people
Fabians really predated
advocate
this.
this idea of, I guess I call it the chimp man. It's
Like
this
they want to
man
go
who's,
back.
like,
They want to devolve.
muscular and posing and everything like that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is not the elevation of humanity that I think is pretty clear God intended. And we can go into what our Adam and Eve interpretation and the idea of the punishments that we were given in the Garden of Eden largely being removed. We are no longer cursed to work the land for our food the days of our lives. We are no longer in a society where women are ruled by men and are forced to lust after men. We are no longer deal with pain and childbirth. You're able to take epidurals now if you want to. And what we learn when these, and a lot of people think that one of the curses for leaving the garden was death. It actually very clearly is not. He said, you will until death be cursed to work the land. Now, the way that line is actually written, you could read it either way. Maybe we were cursed with death, maybe we weren't cursed with death, and it was just a time duration. But you can actually tell that we were not cursed with death from another line, where it says, I had to expel man from the garden because, and I'll read in the exact lines here, because if he ate from the tree of life, he would live forever. So for a few different translations here, we have the New International Version that says, he must not be allowed to reach out his hand
Yeah,
and